When you think of NASA, you may think of mighty rockets, rovers, and astronauts. What you may not realize is that NASA is the home to the largest group of Earth scientists in the world.
With more than 25 satellites in orbit, NASA tracks critical changes all over our world, from air quality to extreme weather. Here to celebrate our home planet ahead of Earth Day tomorrow is NASA expert Dr. Kate Calvin. And Dr. Calvin, this is the 53rd Earth Day. Can you share some of what we're learning still about our planet?
So NASA uses the unique vantage point of space to study our Earth. So we can see things like atmosphere, land, oceans, and we've been studying Earth for decades. So we can see what it looks like today and how it's changed over time. One of the things that we're learning, both from space-based measurements as well as measurements made on the ground, is that climate is changing. 2022 was tied for the 5th warmest on record, and collectively the last 9 years have been the warmest since modern record keeping began.
Now, we've recently seen some extraordinary weather like the extreme snowfall in California. How are these bizarre patterns informing our thinking about climate change?
We are seeing extreme events all around the world, from atmospheric rivers in California to flooding in Florida. And as scientists, we try to understand what's driving those changes. And what we know is that climate change is increasing the intensity of some climate and weather events. It's increasing the frequency of some events as well. So things like extreme wet and extreme dry events are closely linked to climate change.
Yeah, Dr. Calvin, I had a question about specific weather events. Obviously, tornadoes, we just had some here in Oklahoma. How is climate change impacting tornadoes and where they are in their severity?
So climate change affects more than just temperature. So we're seeing changes in the water cycle, so you get see more heavy precipitation events and more droughts. We see increases in heat waves, and we're continually learning how these are linked to climate change and how they might change in the future. For tornadoes, one of the things NASA does is we can observe from space tornado tracks. We can also look at power outages associated with tornadoes, and we use that information both to inform local responders so they can help respond to the storms, as well as to help scientists better understand what's happening to tornadoes over time.
All right, we've got one more kind of end of the question. Do you think in your lifetime humans could live on another planet?
That is an interesting question. So at NASA, we're really focused. We're going back to the moon, and we're doing this in preparation for missions to Mars. We are doing this for science, and so we will bring our astronauts home, and we're going to learn a lot about the solar system in the process.
Well, Dr. Kate Calvin with NASA, we thank you so much for your time, and happy Earth Day, a day ahead of time.
Happy Earth Day.
It's 10 minutes till. We're going to take a break. We have more at 6 in the morning right after this. Stay with us.